How you doing? I'm Big D. Welcome to my show, The Boiling Point. Today is January 20th, 2024. Before we get to the show, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all, and check back periodically to make sure you're still subscribed. Starting right in, what we have on silver is $22.59 at the end of day yesterday. And gold is $2,029.20. The Dow ended at 395 points up, which is very hard to believe with the economy and what is going on in our country politically and economically. 37,863 plus points. That's, to me, impossible with this economy and the administration. Let's see. Starting off with coming out of NATO news, NATO plans to mobilize 90,000 soldiers for the biggest military exercise since the end of Cold War. How you doing, William? Very nice to see you. I appreciate your stopping in. Now, with the new legislation where they either relinquish the border back to the feds and tell the military to stand down and same with the state troopers, or they will sue. Now, I haven't heard anything different, but the Texas troopers have begun arresting illegals in Eagle Pass, Texas. I believe that is something that Texas needed to do, and I believe Arizona, even though that so-called governor probably won't, but I think legislation should be written in Arizona, and I do believe it's on the way. The Biden administration also wants to have the Supreme Court step in and cut down any of the razor wire, allow the Biden administration to cut down razor wire so it makes it easier entry into the United States. How can anybody not believe that this administration has made it unsafe for Americans, especially around the border? But these are also busloads of immigrants coming into the country and being distributed throughout the different states. We all know that it's been a setup. Why do they want open borders? Well, if you're providing for an individual, then you're going to have a manner in which they're going to like that administration. And they will vote for them. And they're trying to make it in states legal to vote without being a citizen. What a great administration that you can't call it Joe Biden president. He's definitely not our president. I will say that forever. He's never been our president. He has done America wrong. Now, Joe Biden announced Friday that his administration is forgiving $5 billion in student debt for another 74,000 borrowers, making the largest round of debt cancellation since the Supreme Court voided the president's student loan forgiveness program. Again, there goes our money. I paid my student loans. I'm sure many of you paid yours. It is nice to have some help. Unfortunately, especially what's going on in this economy, many people need that help. I'm not saying they don't. I have children that are still paying on theirs, and it's not something that should be done. Either the help of parents or relatives has been the way of life for as long as I've known, or you pay it yourself. The years where your family pays for your student loans, I think that's long gone for the majority of us, or in the past. I know it didn't happen for me. Do what you got to do. You struggle in the earlier years, and then in your older years, you paid it off, and then hopefully, because you've gone on to college, you've done better than what you would have if you weren't a college student in the past. Now, the UK military has carried out its first high-power firing of a laser against an aerial target, with the weapon using an intense beam of light to cut through these drones that they were targeting. That's amazing technology. Can you just imagine what technology that we don't even know exists? The House Republicans have introduced legislation to defund the World Economic Forum. The Defund Davos Act would specifically block any federal agency from providing funding to the WEF, World Economic Forum. The U.S. has spent tens of millions of dollars on the WEF over the years, something GOP lawmakers say needs to be ended. I think the situation in the Rust shooting with Alec Baldwin, I think there's something there. And a grand jury indicts Alec Baldwin with involuntary manslaughter in the Rust shooting. Is it, if he's innocent, I'm going to say he will be exonerated. But there's something there, and I think it needs to go forward. Now, hospitals in Denver, Colorado, have been... Now, this is not something that I looked into deeply, but this interests me because of a lot of conspiracies over the years with that injection. So Colorado has been doing that to their staff with live Ebola, supposedly. Not sure, but this is something that many believe is true. America's frontline doctors, they have shown some very crazy things that might have happened with the RMNAs. Now, they're also stating with this new injection, there's a shed rate of up to 31%. Is it true? Again, that's something that hopefully will be coming out, and we'll get the facts on it. And Now, Arkansas's highest court has agreed to fast track a hearing in a lawsuit requesting the removal of these voting machines from Arkansas state elections. Can't say which ones because it would violate YouTube. But I'm sure you know which ones are in question. Now, this individual is, from many people, believe he is the most highly intelligent human to have ever lived on this earth. His name is William James Sidis. At only 18 months old, could read. At 5 years old, could calculate dates of any day 10,000 years in the past or present. Went to Harvard at 11 years old, spoke 25 languages, and had a IQ of 260, which is 100 more than Einstein. It's if you want to look him up, he's one of those very intelligent people that you didn't even know someone can actually do what he has done in his life. I'm only bringing it up because that was impressive. Now, Edison promoted electric cars that had 1,000 miles run between charging. This is in 1910 in New York. That's more than 110 years ago. We had electric cars that would run 1,000 miles on a single charge, which is at least 2 to 3 times greater than today's electric cars, the best electric cars. Now, they didn't use lithium-ion batteries. Instead, they used sodium-ion batteries, which were much more powerful and safer and cleaner for production and environment. If we're trying to save the world, save the environment, one, we probably wouldn't have an electric battery that is environmentally damaging, like an electronic or a lithium-ion battery, as well as mining what is needed to use in the lithium-ion batteries, and also would have to be charged more frequently, which right now, a very high percent of the electricity that charges that electric battery for your electric car comes from fossil fuels, coal, natural gas, etc. They believe 2035 we're going to be self-sufficient with electricity in every part of your home. Cars, motorcycles, dirt bikes, scooters, laptops. How is this going to happen? I can't wait to find out. Unfortunately, there's no way with the technology and the electrical grids able to keep up with electricity now, especially in California. They always have a campaign in the summers to say, please raise your AC. They also stated not to charge your electric vehicles for a period of time because the draw on the system was too much or too great. How you doing, Propane? I'm very nice to see you. Yeah, coming in from very cold suburb of Philly. I want to remind everybody we're going to in the future. Have guests on the show if anybody is interested. Also, propane. If we can set this up and everything works out with my equipment, next Saturday we're going to have a live show on the 27th. Propane will be sitting in. And Linda, very nice to see you. Moving forward. I'm going to start with some sharing of my screen. One second to get this up and running. Here's the first one I'd like to share. Very interesting.
Judge Tanya Chutkan on Thursday suggested special counsel Jack Smith's March 4th trial date in Trump's January 6th case in D.C. will likely be delayed. Chutkan also denied Trump's request to hold Jack Smith and his prosecutors in contempt for violating her order. Trump's lawyers argued that Trump is immune from federal prosecution for alleged crimes committed while he served as U.S. president. 3 former attorneys general, including Bill Barr, who is not even supporting Trump in 2024, has filed a brief insisting that Trump is constitutionally qualified to appear on the ballot. This move comes as a response to the efforts in Colorado, Maine, and other states where leftists have sought to remove Trump from the 2024 ballot. So joining me now is Dave Williams, Chairman, Colorado GOP. You have a lot going on in your states. I'm so excited.
Well, at least we see that there are some not so great, nice people helping out Donald Trump. And I do believe more are going to be stepping up and helping out as well. Ones that we might consider not the nicest when it comes to the Trump administration. Okay, this next one.
Here is the reaction from the sitting president of the United States to the drama happening over on the GOP side. Take a look and to listen at the commander-in-chief.
You know, it's kind of funny. All these Republican candidates in the primary are trying to beat Donald Trump. I'm still the only person to ever beat Donald Trump. I'm looking forward to it again for the good of this country.
Okay, so I got a couple of questions for you. First of all, why is he sitting at the kiddie table? He looks like he's down here. He's like down here with his little hands like this, right? Doesn't he? Like a little person.
I need to know which photographers and cinematographers the Biden White House hires, because you remember there was that picture with Jimmy and Rosalind Carter where Joe Biden looked like the Incredible Hulk, like he was going to put Jimmy Carter in his pocket, and then now it looks like he's an ant or something. There's obviously a perspective problem.
Now, I have an idea why they did this, and I don't think his handlers are doing a very good job, but I think it's maybe a good guy that works for that administration, and they don't know it, and they wanted to make him look small because he's worthless. He has done nothing for this country. And I don't think he's in control anyways, but I would have thought Obama would have stepped into this one and fixed it before it got any worse. But they make him out to be kind of a worthless piece, if you know what I mean. So let's see. Now, retired military officials, speaking of electric cars, these officials say that Biden's electric vehicle push is putting national security at risk. And they explain that, well, there's 17 retired military officials. They're warning that Joe Biden, his hard push for electric vehicles is putting America's national security at risk. Among their chief concerns is that electric vehicles increasing America's reliance on China. But there are other potential problems as well. Biden and Democrats have been actively working to destroy the fossil fuel industry since the moment Biden took office. They're beholden to the climate change activists of their party's base who are absolutely obsessed with the issue. Now, the group of 17 retired military officials sent a letter to President Joe Biden on Thursday warning him that his electric vehicle program was putting the United States' national security at risk. The group warned Biden and the administration that the Environmental Protection Agency, that the administration's current plan would make the U.S. more reliant on China because it would cause the U.S. to make changes to the transportation industry before the necessary infrastructure to support it was ready. That's my point exactly. You see it every year in California. Please don't charge your electric vehicle because we don't have a good enough electric grid. They don't exactly say it that way, but now this is undoubtedly opening the U.S. up for economic manipulations by China, identical to what Russia is doing with Ukraine grain exports and a major threat to our nation's security. We do not believe now is the time for us to make ourselves vulnerable to such easy political pressures. Again, that is what our administration has done to the Americans. And that's, they say that these first 3 years have been bad, but no way are we going to be able to handle another 3 years of this individual. Obviously, I can't say what I like to say about him, but now, Denver hospital in financial crisis. Surge of illegals contributing to $130 million in uncompensated care, which we all knew this was going to happen. Now, this is probably going to happen in a hospital near you as well. But the Joe Biden's border crisis and the unchecked flow of illegals into the United States has plunged Denver's main public hospital into economic turmoil. They did it themselves, making themselves a city that is considered sanctuary. I love how they use certain words to help their cause. Now, while the hospital system does not ask about a track patient immigration status, according to Denver Gazette, in 2022, Denver's health saw $125 million in uncompensated care. Last year, it ballooned to $135 million. In 2020, the price of uncompensated care stood at only $60 million. You think it's going to double every year? What do you think is paying for this? It's everybody who works. That's who's paying for it. Every year, my health insurance goes up about $20, $30. This year, it almost doubled, meaning it's $330 a paycheck every 2 weeks. How is that possible? Next year, it's got to double again. You know where it's going. It's either into their pockets or it's going to pay for the immigration, which they have better insurance than most of us. I know probably 90% of the people I know pay a deductible, not a copay, to go to a doctor visit. More or less, they're paying the complete total, where they have to wait until they meet a deductible of $3,000, $2,500, whatever it is per person on that membership, if you want to call it. So if you and your wife have insurance, you have to meet each one of you a deductible. That deductible is almost never met. I mean, unless you get hospitalized, then I'm sure you're going to meet that. Then they only pay 80%. Obviously, you need insurance. Something major happened, you need to be protected. But Obamacare destroyed that for the average individual that's a working man or working woman. Before Obamacare, I had decent insurance and it didn't cost me a lot. Just as soon as the affordable Obamacare hit, some of my friends were paying $30, $40 a paycheck. For an individual, that wasn't too bad. Paying a $20 copay. Just as soon as the Obama hit, whatever you want to call that, it was not affordable. It was not a CARE Act, because they didn't they didn't care. That's when it went to about $600 a month. And that was on average. That's, some of the individuals that I know I've helped to try to get it, but they couldn't afford it. So they chose to take no insurance. But their deductible was $4,000 for an individual before they paid anything. And the only good thing happened was, if they chose to take the insurance, they were able to, I think it's called a reducing bill. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but whatever the insurance would pay is what you pay. So instead of a $300 office visit, and the insurance would pay, say, $80 or $100, that's what you would pay. Let's see. Linda states that they can only beat him by cheating. And I know that for a fact. You're seeing it more and more states coming forward with details of what's going on, but you won't see it on mainstream media. I can't really show it here. William states that he'll be replaced by Big Mike soon. I heard that as well, and I think that's going to be funny if she does, or he does, whatever we're going with. I'm going with he. There's too much evidence out there to give that evidence a true look. China is building nuclear batteries now. I wonder how they will hold up in a crash. Yeah, can you imagine if it's an explosion? That wouldn't be smart. But why can't we use the batteries of technology that worked back in the day? And these batteries that China is building, they're supposed to last 25 years without charging. Oh, I did see that just the other day. And they're very, very tiny. I guess a cell phone battery will never have to be charged, and it'll outlast the cell phone itself. And now, okay, William said it's up to 50 years. Wow, that's just incredible. Like I said, there's technology out there that we haven't even heard of, and I think it's the government who steps in, buys out the company, and so you'll never see any of this technology. And they're signed an NDA or something, so they can't talk about it. Not exactly sure if that's how it is, but you never know. Well, getting back to what's going on in Denver. Now, the hospital has reportedly contacted FEMA for additional federal assistance associated with the cost of care for these individuals. Again, that's you and I paying for it. So it's not like FEMA is going to take care of you. It's you, the working man, is going to take care of those individuals getting Cadillac care in the hospitals. Now, Denver Health CEO Donna Line warned the center is in a critical moment due to unexpected costs associated with visitors that are considered illegals. Because our costs exceed our revenue, we are turning down patients every day, particularly in the area of mental health and substance abuse. Well, that's not good. Now, Federico estimated that the bulk of the $10 million difference in uncompensated care between 2022 and 2023 was related to the influx of new immigrants using the healthcare system. They probably didn't even know about healthcare until they came to this country, and they were probably told, something happens, go to the hospital. Now, after losing $30 million in 2022, the healthcare system anticipated breaking even in 2023. It is a difficult dilemma of how we best meet with the healthcare needs when healthcare has not been part of the acquisition. The surge in new immigrants, patients from South and Central America, equates to roughly 8,000 people and 20,000 visits. Wow. We find out that they can lead a better life and they go to the hospital, I'm sure. Any kind of infection or issues that they're dealing with, they're just not used to it and they want to be taken care of. And I understand that. It's just coming across the way they are, becoming citizens is probably not what they're looking for. They're just looking to be taken care of. Now, the overload on the medical infrastructure in the United States is exacerbated by the lack of testing by the Border Patrol for dangerous infectious diseases. In November, the far left mayor of several sanctuary cities, including Denver's mayor, Mike Johnson, sent a letter begging for a staggering $5 billion in federal aid from the Biden regime. Expect it to get a lot worse before it gets better. But if there is a way, and it is fixed before going into the 2024 election, then Donald Trump will be our new president. there's a lot of evidence that shows that he is still our commander-in-chief. Like the little details that are law being inaugurated before 12 o'clock. That was one of them. Number two, no other president ever left, and I couldn't find any details that was ever on Air Force One after they have left office. Because the day he left on Air Force One. And another thing that was brought up, Hail to the Chief was played in a 21 gun salute on the day he was at the airport leaving on Air Force One. You don't have that song played in the 21 gun salute when a president is leaving office. What did Joe Biden get? He had Honors March played for him, and also a 13 gun salute. They've changed that up if you wanted to go back and watch it, because they caught their mistake. And now they pan away from the artillery, and then you can hear it off into the distance, the gunfire, to get to 21. It's unfortunate that someone didn't record it, because I haven't been able to find it without being cut and panning away from the cemetery. And then they cut the actual Honors March being played. And it's my opinion, he is definitely not our commander-in-chief. So that's the show for today. And don't forget, next Saturday, we're going to have a guest. And if everything goes well with the equipment, it will happen at 2 p.m. If anybody has anything to comment, and you'd like to send me an email, or in the future in the comment section, please do so. And if you'd like to sit in as a guest, I believe, this being my first time using this software, I believe you will be able to share your screen as well. Again, if this is interesting to you and you want to do that, just leave me a comment and you'll see my email address in the description below. And welcome to Propane, who will be the guest on next week's show. You may have, when you see who Propane is, you'll probably remember who he is from a past YouTube before that channel was taken down. And the subject going forward for next Saturday, I believe, is going to be about flat Earth. So if you're interested in that type of thing, you might want to tune in to see some of the information that's out there before making a judgment call. I'm still on the fence, but I'm leaning more towards flat Earth, and it's definitely something that you might want to see. At least give it an hour. See what you think. All right, guys, I appreciate you stopping in, and God bless everybody. what we have going forward is it's a little scary. And if you can help people out, please do so. I don't care if it's just someone you're helping out at the store to grab something higher than what they can reach. Help a neighbor. You see that they're struggling to do something, whether it be a post on Facebook, do what you can. If you see them out there struggling to lift something, maybe offer yourself if you can do it. You might not be able to lift on your own as well, but do what you can. God bless everybody. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.